Hey, this is Ian, and in this video I was going to talk about TEFL course hours. How many TEFL course hours do you need, and are they accurate? First off, for the most part, I would say they don't really matter. And they're not very accurate in a lot of cases. And later I'm going to tell you I'm going to read some quotes that I found off the internet of people, how they said about what they said about their course and the hours. So for the most part, they don't matter. Employers don't really check up on this or ask. And I mean, I took a course, a TEFL course, a TESL course actually, a long time ago before I went to Taiwan. In all my years teaching in Asia, 6 of them, only one person ever asked, or one employer ever asked about the course that I took and asked the question how many hours it was. So first I'll tell you my story. So I took a course that was 2 days, if I remember correctly, it was a long time ago, it was 2004. So I took a course that was 2 days in the classroom. It could have been 3, but I'm pretty sure it was just 2. I went up there, it was in Montreal, and I went up there for the weekend. And then it was like a hybrid course. Then you take some books home, and then you finish with the distance learning or something like that. So at the end of the 2 days, they gave out a certificate. And this certificate, they said, was a 60-hour certificate. However, I got that in 2 days, and on the certificate, it didn't say anything about the hours or how long it was. They said the whole course was a 120-hour course. So to be completed, via distance on your own at home, and fill out answer some questions, do some book work and stuff, study some grammar. That's what most of it was. And so that was my experience. That was my first experience with the TEFL course. So there's definitely some courses out there that are going to say they're longer than they are, as you'll soon see. And what does it mean? What do TEFL course hours mean? I think in actuality they're supposed to mean actual contact hours that you do in a classroom. Now, for an online course, there's no classroom, so how do you measure this? Are there online courses out there with accurate hours? I don't know. But I think basically it's based, it could be, I'm not sure who came first, but I'm going to say maybe it was CELTA, and CELTA actually has 120 hours of in-class contact hours, where you're actually in a class and you're actually doing something, learning, whatever. So, and it's like a 4-week-long course typically, or it could be a little longer, There's also now a part online course, which might be a few weeks in class and a few weeks online. So I'm not sure how they actually measure the hours for that. So here, there's something else I was going to say, but I'll read to you some quotes that I got off of, mostly off of Reddit here, about, someone posted in a subreddit, Reddit, and asked, like, how many hours, anyways, here we go, let's say this. First quote says, even though it said it was 120 hours certification, I managed to finish it in less than 25 hours. Now, of course, that is a testament to the poor quality of the course that I could fly through it that quickly, but thing is, it didn't matter. I can promise you no Hagwon will bother to check up on the accreditation and quality of the course you took. They will just see that you have the certificate and maybe then place your resume at the top of the pile. This was from Guy Forbes off of Reddit. Here's another quote. I finished a 150-hour course in about 20-ish hours. And actually I did most of the stuff. If you just rush through one, it might take you 10 hours, maybe less. Oh, forgot to say, this was by Zoidberg747 on Reddit. These referring to a course on Groupon. All of these except for one that I'm going to read you. referring to a course or courses on Groupon. Okay. I believe the course I'm taking is considered. This is the guy that posted the question asking about. It says, I believe the course I'm taking is considered a 120-hour course, but I feel like I'm flying through it. I've been at it for 3 days in my free time, maybe for a maximum of 7 or 8 hours, and I'm supposedly already 60% finished. Note that this course has no in-person classroom component. Curio on Reddit. Here's another one. I took the same course back when I was going to need it, just for appearances, obviously, and I similarly finished it in a couple of hours. This is Jayok on Reddit. Here's a quote from a YouTube video I found, just a short one, I guess, and they were also referring to a course on Reddit. It said 150 hours, but it didn't take that long. So there's definitely online courses, by the sounds of it, out there like that. And as far as measuring, is there any sort of real way to measure actual hours in an online course? I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it, because these are supposed to be contact hours. You're not actually in any specific place, so how can they measure that, you know? So, and I'm obviously not here to say anything bad or anything necessary about, I'm just talking about online courses. I'm just talking about this specific piece of information here. So how many hours does it need to be? I'd say in Asia, it really doesn't matter. There's going to be maybe a very small population. Like in Asia, I'll leave a quote to a link about a girl who made a video. She took a CELTA course and stuff down below. You can check that out. But for the most part, in Asia, most schools don't know the difference between TEFL, CELTA, TEFL, CELTA, and TESOL. And for most schools there, if your course was a 20-hour course or a 120-hour course, it's not going to matter. At least not in terms of like, oh, wow, you get the 120-hour course, or he has a 150-hour course. For most schools, it's not going to matter. Now, there's a small... That's not to say there's some schools out there where it could matter. But here's something to consider. I kind of mentioned this before in another video. It could matter, yet if they're really concerned about the hours, they're gonna know that, well, if you took an online course, it's probably not actual hours anyways. So then they may prefer something like an in-class course. So something maybe like a CELTA. But this is a very small percentage of schools that are going to prefer this. I'd say, just off the top of my head, in Eastern Asia, 5% of schools are going to care about that, are going to be looking for that. And now the next thing I'd like to add to that, I mentioned this before, is that for those schools, these are like maybe more prestigious or reputable schools, if you want to say, they're going to also be looking for teachers with experience. So, and experience always trumps any sort of certification you have. So it's probably not going to matter at all. So how about you? If you did take a course, how long did your course actually take? I would like to know, and I think other people would like to know too. So if you could share that, that'd be great. Have a good one.